What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Nalo Kicking Knowledge. Today, I'm reporting to you live from the classroom. Just finished, working with some sixth graders, helping them perfect their writing skills. As we know, writing, publishing, all forms of communication deals with Gemini. All right, so I know a little bit about that field. But today, we're going to be talking about Mars. What is Mars in astrology? What does it mean in your horoscope? And Mars is very, very key. Very key. Because you could have a good sun, you can have a good Venus, you can have a good Jupiter, you can have a good moon. But if you don't have a good Mars, the ability to manifest and really take action for the things that you want is going to be hard to come by. So, let's get into it. First of all, Mars is a fiery planet. It rules Aries and traditionally Scorpio. I like to go, with me, it's not a big deal. I acknowledge all the outer planets as co-ruling, but I also like to, for my purposes, stay with the traditional, with Mars ruling both Aries and Scorpio, because if you look at it, both the opposite signs of Aries and Scorpio are ruled by Venus, Taurus and Libra. So this adds more to the connection between Venus and Mars. What you want to know about Mars is that Mars is our energy. Okay? So that's why I said you can have a good mind, you can have good wisdom, you can have a good ego. But if you don't have the energy or the passion, that's really what I like to consider Mars, what you're passionate about, is going to be hard to manifest. Okay? So, Mars, other than energy, sexually, it's a major component. It's a major component. Mars is what lets us know who is, who can go for a marathon in sex and who just wants a quickie and they're good. Mars is our sex drive. Venus is our pleasure. So within trying to understand Mars, you can constantly keep comparing it to Venus. Venus is what we love. Love. It's what gives us pleasure. Mars is what we're passionate about. So we use our Mars, our energy, to go after the things that we're passionate about. Mars shows how much pleasure we seek, and Venus is what kind of pleasure we seek. All right? Or how much. So keep looking at Mars and Venus. But just to touch on Mars ruling Aries and ruling Scorpio, I want you to look at the archetype for just Mars as a whole. Mars is our defense. He is a soldier. He is an athlete, right? What sign he's placed in determines what kind of soldier you're going to get, okay? And let's just associate Mars and Aries with everything, military like. War. Kind of like barbaric kind of war, but full all out competition in your face. And remember, Aries governs the face. It relates to the first house. All right? The sun is exalted. The sun is exalted in Aries. All right? So that's letting you know that there's natural affinity between Sun and Mars. Right? If Sun is the king and Mars is the soldier, that means Mars takes his orders from Sun. Okay? So let's tie this in. All right? Because this is key. Mars takes his orders from the Sun. Right? But Mars is really going to take his orders from one, who he's ruled by, and also he's going to be highly affected by whoever he's sitting with or aspecting. The aspects made to Mars are going to, really add towards your sexual prowess, especially of the opposite sex. And for those of you, still putting this together, look at the symbol of Mars and look at the symbol of Venus. You'll see the affinity. All right. So, like I said, Mars, Sun is exalted in the house of Aries, right? So think of Mars and Aries as that daytime soldier. Then Mars in Scorpio is like a spy. Scorpio's about what? Secrecy, moving things underground. All right, hidden. Spies, you don't know the movements of a spy. They outsmart you. Okay, they go in depth. They plot more. So Mars is very much so our, how do I say it? He's like the little devil on our shoulder, because Mars is going to influence you to do whatever it takes to conquer, because Mars is competitiveness. So anybody with a good Mars, especially Mars and fire, naturally competitive. All right. Now, when we look at Mars, when we also look at Mars through the elements, we start to see that Mars really takes its cue from the element just as much as the sign. So we know that Mars in Leo is going to be different than Mars in Aries, but it's going to have the same mode because it's still fire. So this Mars is liable to be passionately impulsive, whereas a water Mars is going to be emotionally impulsive. The air Mars is going to be intellectually impulsive. Make sense? And then, of course, actually, you want to know something? I actually don't even feel like Mars is too impulsive at all in Earth. Earth Mars is one, exalted in Capricorn, and two, whenever it gets in the air, whenever it gets in the Earth, it gets grounded. So Mars does really, really well in Earth signs, being exalted in Capricorn. So we're gonna start this Mars through sign series, and by the end of it, everyone should be able to really know how to navigate with their Mars, because the way Mars expresses itself is going to show you how to comply with your energy, right? How to make your energy comply. So, lastly, I just want to reiterate, I said that Mars takes his orders from the sun. All right? So, and I also said Mars, you can just understand Mars more, look at it in comparison to Venus. It's like the opposite of Venus, but opposites attract, right? All right. So, guys, this is my episode for today. Like I said, we're going into Mars through Sign series. Feel free to comment and let me know what you think. Until next time, peace.